Now, it is unfortunate that what was an interesting game of football is now going to be overshadowed by a moment of madness. The entire game will be boiled down to one single moment. But let us examine what actually happened in this game. And I know that everybody would have their thoughts on it. To begin with, we need to start from the beginning. That celebration by Vinicius Jr. Was there something wrong with that celebration? Look, I'm going to say this. We don't want to police, my personal opinion, I don't want us to police celebrations in football. People should be able to celebrate. However, football is a very emotional game. It's a very sentimental game. Going to dance in front of the opposition crowd, while I don't think it violates any rule in football specifically, which I think makes the yellow card a bit nonsensical. The thing is this: common sense has to prevail. It was quite amateurish and childish for Vinicius Jr. to go and dance in front of the away crowd. You are going to provoke them, you are going to cause problems. And I think Vinicius Jr. should have exercised caution in that regard, going to dance in front of the crowd and provoke them. That's just my opinion. That is just my opinion. Sometimes we have to be sensible about certain things. So let's get that out of the way first. And the yellow card, I think it was a bit of an overreaction. It was a bit harsh. He didn't break any rule per se. There's no rule that says you can't celebrate. He did not gesture at the crowd. He did not direct anything to the crowd specifically. So I can also defend Vini by saying that that was an innocent celebration he did, but it was ill-timed and poorly conceived. I would admit that as well. But going to the Prestiani incident, Prestiani said something to Vinicius Jr. in the course of that argument and that back and forth that was going on. Now, we don't know exactly what Prestiani said because he was a very brave guy. He used his shirt to cover his mouth while he said something. Again, we don't know what he said, but I'm going to say this though. If you are covering your mouth to say something to an opposition player when you are angry, it is likely because you are not proud of what you are saying, or you know that what you are saying or what you want to say is problematic. Because of everybody who spoke, he was the only one who covered his mouth to say something. And whatever he said, Vinicius Jr. interpreted it to be racially motivated. That's why he ran to the referee. And of course, at that point, by the response or the protocol for dealing with racial abuse, Vinicius Jr. had every right to walk out of the pitch at that point. He did. But the thing is, there are going to be two different sides, or people will look at it from two different lenses. Some group of people would think that Vinicius Jr. is a crybaby, and his reaction to that was over the top. Because, of course, he has been racially abused several times in the past before, where he has walked out of the pitch like that. Other people are also going to say that this is unacceptable behavior in a football game. My opinion is this: Vinicius Jr., if he felt that he was racially abused, had the right to walk off the pitch to cool off. Don't get me started on the Senegal thing at the AFCON final. These are two different things. Okay, walking out of the pitch because of a refereeing decision and walking out because of perceived racism are two different things. They're not things that you can compare, so don't even bring that comparison at all. But what I'm saying is this: whatever Prestiani said in that moment was problematic. And I'm concluding, again, we don't know what he said. We've not heard. Hopefully there will be an investigation. But I'm concluding based on the fact that if you are covering your mouth to say something to a player, then most likely than none, at least on the balance of probability, what you said is problematic. And of course, Prestiani on the pitch right there denied. He said he didn't say anything. And in the way these things usually end, nothing will happen at the end of the day, because even if you investigate it, nobody heard anything. Because usually with allegations of racism on the pitch, VAR and all the microphones will be activated. They will try to listen and check for everything, which is what they were trying to do after the referee made the sign for a racism investigation. I'm sure they didn't hear anything, because if they heard something, they would have sent Prestiani off. I'm sure they didn't hear anything. And Prestiani, I am 100% sure, is going to deny saying anything. So at the end of the day, it will be Vinicius' word against his own. And of course, if we can't prove it beyond a reasonable doubt, it goes away. That's how it's going to be. But I think something happened on that pitch, and well, we would know as time goes on. But then again, it's unfortunate that an incident like this has even overshadowed what I think was a brilliant goal from Vinicius Jr. But then again, that is the world we live in. That is how football is today. Let me know your thoughts on the incidents, though. Did Vinicius do anything wrong by walking off the pitch? Or do you think that it was an overreaction from him? Again, it's subject to everybody's own interpretation of what has happened. Again, I'm just going to watch the match again so that we can analyze the tactics involved. But then I just thought I should just at least talk about this particular incident.